The dark side of the Force is a pathway to many abilities some consider to be unnatural.
Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. This is going to be my Mandalorian Season 2 video for my top 10 WTF predictions for the finale. There's so many big storylines that they have to wrap up, so many big Easter eggs and deep cuts from the Legends canon. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the videos. Obviously, I will be doing Season 3 videos because they're going to be entering production for Season 3 really soon, if they haven't already. We're doing a giveaway for Disney Plus memberships. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and leave all your finale predictions on the video. So careful for spoilers if you haven't seen any of the Season 2 episodes yet. But starting with number 10, Mando will use Bill Burr's character to track down where Moff Gideon is hiding, where his home base is, and mounts a rescue mission that winds up being a big reference callback to A New Hope when Luke Skywalker, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Han Solo, Chewbacca, C-3PO, R2-D2 rescued Princess Leia from the Death Star, only it's them rescuing Grogu from Moff Gideon. The most obvious references on the show are references to the original trilogy, like we just had all the Boba Fett, Return of the Jedi, Empire Strikes Back references during Episode 6. Even though there's no actual Death Star in this scenario, they're not going to roll out a fourth version of the Death Star in the canon. Boba Fett will probably wind up being the Obi-Wan Kenobi of this scenario and sacrifice himself to save Mando, or seemingly sacrifice himself. If Boba Fett winds up sacrificing himself, I would expect them to play it the same way they played his ending in Return of the Jedi. Like, you think that he's dead in the moment, but really he wound up surviving, because there were rumors that Boba Fett would figure into future seasons, but I think that has a lot to do with what's happening with the Boba Fett mini-series, which is actually a prequel series set earlier in the timeline. I'll explain that at the end of the video too. There is more Boba Fett stuff happening, but it's during a different part of the timeline. But number 9, a lot of you have also guessed, this is also in service of Boba Fett potentially giving Mando the Slave One ship to replace the vaporized Razor Crest. Really, if you rewatch the explosion from Episode 6, it's more like melted the Razor Crest. I don't know how they would rebuild that, and Mando needs a ship. Boba Fett has a really badass ship that's going to sell a ton of toys. They've been doing this big Boba Fett redemption arc trying to make him come off much more like a hero than he has in the past. I mean, he's a bounty hunter, he's a Mandalorian now per canon, they sort of clarified that, and he's lawful neutral. The other funny thing about this too, more foreshadowing for future seasons, if you look at the concept art drawings from the end of Episode 6, you can see the inside of the Slave One. It's a really cool concept art drawing. But you notice that there are 2 hammocks, one right after the other, like bunk beds. So there's one for Mando and one for Grogu when he eventually winds up getting him back. We'll get to that too, because I think there'll be some big Empire Strikes Back twists during the ending. Just a really cool upgraded ship for Mando going into future seasons of the show. Number 8, Bo-Katan will probably come back to help Mando fight Moff Gideon with other Mandalorians in a supersized version of the last 2 Mandalorian fight scenes of them jetpacking in. Like Season 1, Episode 3, they jetpack in, they're super badass, they steamroll all the other bounty hunters in town. Then you have Season 2, Episode 3, where Bo-Katan and the Night Owl's Mandalorians jetpack in, and they're real badass, taking out these other bounty hunters. So just picture some version of that happening in the finale, where they roll in to help out. Bo-Katan was trying to get Mando to join the Night Owls, join their greater cause in retaking the planet Mandalore. His whole reason for not doing that was because he was still quested to take Grogu back to the Jedi. And he's starting to feel more like a father to him too, so he's starting to feel more reluctant about letting him go. Number 7, Moff Gideon and Mando will have their full-blown Darksaber fight scene with Mando using the new Beskar spear because it's resistant to lightsaber blades. That's what all those Ahsoka Tano versus Mando scenes were about, with her twin lightsabers not being able to penetrate his Beskar gauntlets. There have been a couple other scenes too where you see him using himself as a human shield because the blaster fire just bounces off the Beskar. It still hurts him, but it bounces off. Most of you have seen some of my Game of Thrones videos, even if you didn't watch the series. During Game of Thrones Season 4, he played Oberyn Martell, the Red Viper, and his trademark weapon was a giant spear. There were all kinds of behind-the-scenes featurettes of him using it, training with it, so just picture the Red Viper versus Moff Gideon with his Darksaber.
We had him do wushu classes before he came to us, and then we had a wushu expert fight with him and learn him about spears to look sharp.
I am sure there are going to be all kinds of memes with him getting his eyes crushed out. I think it's a pretty safe bet that their fight will not go down the same way as Oberyn Martell versus the Mountain went down. But I cannot wait to see them throw down. Number 6, Grand Admiral Thrawn will probably get teased again in a bigger way this time. Maybe we even get to see his fleet or see him if they've already cast an actor. They've been pretty good about keeping that stuff on the DL, but I'm not expecting too much from that. They'll probably save most of the Thrawn stuff for future seasons in the potential Ahsoka Tano spin-off series. His main ship is a Star Destroyer called the Chimera. He has a fleet of Star Destroyers, so if we're talking about original trilogy Star Wars movie references, Moff Gideon would be the Darth Vader to Thrawn's Emperor. You have to imagine that Thrawn is a much more Sherlockian villain, much more cerebral, much smarter, with way bigger and way more capital ships. Because there's so many Empire Strikes Back references during Season 2, it was the second movie. One of the other big reveals during Empire Strikes Back was that Darth Vader was in service of someone even greater, even worse, more powerful, the Emperor, and you got to see him for the first time. I've already talked a little bit about really awesome castings. Of course, Benedict Cumberbatch as Thrawn would be amazing, but because Lars Mikkelsen did his voice on Star Wars Rebels and he played a Sherlock villain with Benedict Cumberbatch, they could just paint him blue, and it would be just another one of those Katie Sackhoff, Bo-Katan animation to live-action jumps, having the animated voiceover actor play the live-action version of their character, because he is a very good, very accomplished, very experienced actor. But also I expect Ahsoka Tano to come back and help Mando and Grogu in some way, at least some small way, before future seasons and whatever her potential spin-off series might be. There were some interviews that Rosario Dawson did after the Ahsoka episode that made it sound like she was coming back before the end of the season. In number 5, they will tease the new Jedi actually answering Grogu's call from episode 6. Remember, he reached out through that beacon in the Force to the entire galaxy. That's sort of a plot device for them to draw on in future seasons and future story, because a number of different Force-sensitive people could show up, both good people and bad people. But a lot of us are just expecting them to get into Ezra Bridger's storyline, especially because of all the Ahsoka and the Thrawn stuff that they teased. If Thrawn came back from the unknown regions after Star Wars Rebels when they disappeared in the finale, then it's very logical that Ezra also came back, and they'll save a lot of that for potential Ahsoka spin-off series and future seasons of The Mandalorian. Even if they cover a lot of the storyline on other spin-off series from The Mandalorian, all the characters will still eventually appear on The Mandalorian in some way. Number 4, they'll clarify the relationship between Moff Gideon and Grand Admiral Thrawn. Are they working together by choice? Do they hate each other? Is it more like Darth Vader working with the Emperor? Like the Emperor was always trying to undermine Darth Vader and keep him under his thumb, and Darth Vader was trying to do the same thing to the Emperor. Like he tried to get Luke to join him, we can overthrow the Emperor and rule the galaxy together. Vader was always suspicious of the Emperor, he was always looking for an opportunity to get rid of him. He really didn't like him at all, but he was too powerful to confront directly. And when it comes to a lot of the Thrawn stuff, I talked about them doing Heir to the Empire across the new Star Wars live-action Disney Plus series, like where you would have originally expected them to do an Heir to the Empire trilogy of movies. Now they'll borrow from that storyline and just do that across all these live-action Disney Plus series. I've already done a couple videos about Thrawn's backstory and how he figures into this Ahsoka Tano spin-off potential series in the teaser from episode 5, so I'll post links to that in the description at the end of this. I'm really interested to see how Thrawn translates to the live-action series. But number 3, also big WTF twist they're expecting. The home base is going to be something associated with the planet Mandalore itself. Either they'll have a base near it, or they're using the planet itself as their actual base. But because Bo-Katan's whole mission is retaking the planet, I feel like they'll tease the planet Mandalore in some way, but they won't be able to win it back. That'll be for future seasons, because of the full reveal of Moff Gideon and Grand Admiral Thrawn's combined fleets and Star Destroyers. Like I said, number 2, I expect them to end things on a very Empire Strikes Back style downer cliffhanger moment, like the rumored threat of Moff Gideon and Thrawn's combined fleets, their forces, the Dark Troopers. We'll get a couple more big reveals, and they'll come off seeming like they're legit invincible, and almost all hope will be lost, and they might not actually be able to rescue Grogu, like ending the season with Grogu trying to sacrifice himself to save Mando's life, but not dying. Grogu is still going to be a fundamental part of the show in future seasons. I think everyone would threaten to cancel their Disney Plus if they hurt the baby, so if anybody is wearing plot armor in the finale, I feel like it's going to be Grogu. But number 1, also around the finale, the Star Wars people will release more details on all the other Star Wars live-action Disney Plus series, including which Mandalorian spin-offs they're actually doing. They already confirmed the prequel Boba Fett miniseries. I don't know how many episodes that's going to be, but it sounds like they're going to try and release it sometime later next year. There's the rumored Ahsoka Tano spin-off series, and there could be other ones that we haven't heard about yet. And they'll reveal more of what's going on with the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, if Darth Maul really is going to come back and be a villain during that, in the Rogue One series with Cassian Andor and some of the other Rogue One characters. It's a prequel series, so most of those characters are alive again, but not all of them will be on the TV show. And like I said, Mandalorian Season 3 is supposed to be in production sometime between right now and early next year, with them releasing Season 3 episodes around the same time next year. They're on a pretty reliable schedule, and the working title, supposedly for Mando Season 3, is Buccaneer, which is basically a type of pirate. So think about what kind of imagery that evokes when you think about Star Wars space pirates. They've been talking about Bo-Katan during Episode 3, like she'd been a pirate since the Great Purge of the Mandalorians. So I think we'll see a lot more of them during Season 3, and obviously Ahsoka Tano is always probably going to come back. But everyone post all your predictions on the video. My full Mandalorian Season 2 Episode 7 video will post on Friday just like normal, but I will be doing bonus videos between now and then, so if there's any special Mandalorian videos that you want me to make, just let me know in the comments. What'll happen after the Mandalorian Season 2 finale is that the Avengers WandaVision episodes will start up all the Marvel Big Disney Plus series, and I'll be doing videos for that too, so I'll talk more about that as they roll out more footage later this year. While you wait for everything, click here for my full Mandalorian Season 2 Episode 6 video, and click here for my new Mandalorian Grogu Luke Skywalker video. Thank you so much for watching. Everyone stay safe. This is the way.